Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a threat are the 49ers now to the Rams in the NFC West?
I'm going to say a 5. I think defensively they're still very good with Nick Bosa. I think Armstead had a little injury, but I think he'll be back for the start of the season. Fred Warner is as good at the middle backer position that we have in this league.
Yes, sir.
So they have a very talented defense that can get after people that will keep them in the games. The thing that, Skip, if you think about it, Jimmy Garoppolo, for whatever reason, he played some of his best games against the Rams. And I think the fact that I'm not totally as sold on Trey Lance as you are, and I know Kyle Shanahan is sold. They basically gone all in, told him.
Well, they better be.
Jimmy G, hit the road, bro.
Yep.
You know, you're welcome to seek a trade.
I mean, they spent 3 first-round picks for him and a third-round.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So they put all their eggs in a guy's basket, Skip, that started 17 career college games. In his second year, he's about to be
North Dakota State.
At North Dakota State. Deebo got a great deal. It seems to be the going rate. DK, A.J. Brown, and Deebo Samuel, all represented by the same agent, all around that $24.5 million range. Great short. This is a shorter contract, Skip. I don't know if people know this at home, Skip. When you get whatever you guarantee, the team immediately has to put that money in escrow. So Deshaun Watson, that $230, Cleveland had to put $230 million in an escrow. Because then the NFL league's not going to have you default on that and not be able to play these players. And so what the guy says, oh, no. I'm not going to do no 5-year. And no, because you're going to cut me if I'm not performing anyway. Let's do a shorter deal. Let's get this. And now DK is going to be back at the table at 27. I think Deebo will be back at the table at 29. So they'll get another bite of the apple if they continue to put up these type of numbers.
So it's not a Tyreek deal because it's not as long as
It's not as long. It's not as long. It's definitely not as long as Tyreek. So for me, Skip, that's what we're starting to see these guys sign these shorter deals, get back and try to get another bite of this apple. Deebo was unbelievable last year. First team All-Pro, 1,400-yard receiving, led the league in yards per catch, had 377 rush yards, Skip. He was sensational. When the ball's in his hand, he's sensational. He's not the best route runner. He's not the fastest guy. But I don't know if there's a guy that's better equipped when you put the ball in his hands, says, I want the ball in his hand. Whether I pitch it to him, I hand it to him, or I throw it to him, I want the ball in Deebo Samuel's hand. So him, with a second-year quarterback, you had to have him, Skip. And so I think you're going to see a lot of passes where they get, because all their guys, Ayuk can run with the ball and can great after the catch. Deebo, we know what he is. Kittle is sensational with the ball in his hand. So I think we're going to see a lot of that. They're going to move the pocket. That's what they do. And so, but I don't think they're quite yet now with a second-year quarterback. I don't think they're in the class with the Rams. I think the Rams is the best team in this division.
They need him to carry the ball occasionally.
Yeah.
He doesn't love that.
Well, Skip, I'm not finna change now, bro. Look, I set you up. I'm not finna change how we use you now. If anything, I might hand you the ball a little bit more.
Maybe. Okay, you know what I believe about Trey Lance? Jimmy G was always pretty good, and pretty good is very good in this league. But he was pretty good. He went 4-2 in those playoff games, but his QBR was a touch under average. He was 49 on a scale of 0 to 100. So he was always right around average in QBR in those games. And a couple of those games, he was pretty miserable, and they could win in spite of. In the game up at Green Bay, he wasn't great, but they won because Aaron Rodgers was worse.
As long as they don't have to win the game because of him. If he can stay out of the way and that run game go get you 200, 300, Skip, and he throwing the ball 8 times like he did it when Green Bay went out there to beat him in the championship game. He threw the ball 8 times.
Got it. Trey Lance can be better than Jimmy G, but he might not be better this year. I hope he is for their sake. But this year you could be right on. It may be a longer year for him to get his feet wetter and wetter at a position he didn't get to play much last year, and he hasn't played much quarterback over the last 3 years, and I will agree with you. When he did play, he looked a little shaky last year. But the veterans on this team rave about his maturity. They rave about his supreme sort of inner self-confidence that he brings. And he's 6'4", 225 pounds, and he can flat out run. And he's got a bazooka of an arm. I just believe if you give that kind of a weapon to the Shanahans, Mike and Kyle, and I think Mike still has a lot to do with the game planning, and you let Kyle call that game, they are going to be even more lethal as a running attack, a rush attack, because you got Deebo. You weren't sure when we last time talked about Trey Lance. Are they going to have him? Is he going to be distraction all year? Is he going to be pouting all year? Is he going to be holding out? Well, they went for the throat, man. They said, this year is the year. Let's go now. And to the credit of that ownership, all the way up to the top, they said, win now. We believe we can win with this kid today.
Right.
And I believe Kyle will put Trey Lance in the very best positions you could ever put a young quarterback in, because I saw what Kyle and Mike did with RG3 that first year. And I loved him coming out of college, and he backed me up, thanks to Kyle and Mike, because they put him in positions to win Offensive Rookie of the Year and to carry the team to the NFC East title.
Well, I know Kyle can call plays. Matt Ryan's never had a year like he had. He won the MVP.
There you go. Okay.
Kyle was the offensive coordinator.
Maybe he had a bad day at the Super Bowl, but the point was he can flat out call it.
Yes.
And their rush attack is so clever and creative. It comes from everywhere. It's here, there. It's a lot of misdirection. It's a lot of sleight of hand. It's a lot of sis, boom, ba. Where did he go? We can't find him. And with Deebo running the ball a few times, and with Trey, with the threat of him pulling the ball back and doing what RG3 should have done more of, that's take the 7 yards that nobody's going to touch you, and then just get down.
Correct.
And I believe that Trey Lance will get down and take the 7 yards. I think, to answer Jen's question, the threat they are to the Rams this year because of the pieces around him, including a happy Deebo, I'm going to call them an 8 on a threat to the Rams. Wow. They're not quite as good as, well, obviously, one team has Matt Stafford, the other has a kid who's never started consistently. He's never been the starter for the San Francisco 49ers. So here they come, but I think they're going to be a surprise team. I don't know if they'll be quite good enough to unseat the Rams, but I think they're going to be a factor and a force. I have my doubts about the Arizona Cardinals. I have serious doubts about the Seattle Seahawks now. But it's going to come down to these two for the division title. And I will bet you that Trey Lance will start to show you more than Jimmy G ever showed you.
You think the 49ers will be better than the Cardinals?
I do. I just do, because they're a better team overall, just top to bottom, because obviously D-Hop's going to be gone for a while.
For 6 games.
And there are a lot of holes. All of a sudden, there's no Chandler Jones. I'm not sure what the Cardinals are going to be. I am not sure.
Be interesting.
Yes, sir.
But we do agree that the Rams are the best team in this division. We can agree on that.
I think you'd have to give them the edge right now, but I'm only giving them the edge.
I mean, you begrudgingly doing that. They got to the Super Bowl. They got the Super Bowl MVP. They had Matthew Stafford. You saw what he did. I saw him throw it to Tart, and Tart dropped it, and Tart's no longer a 49er. It happens. I mean,
it happens.
Eli threw it to Asante Samuel, and he dropped it. Wow. and then what happened?
That could have changed life.
No, you'd have been really unbearable. He had 8 Super Bowls. Did you blame Coach Belichick for that drop?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Tom did what he was supposed to do. He led that terrific drive down and gave them the lead with 2 minutes to go in the first Eli Super Bowl.
You know when things like that happen. It happened to Joe. He hit Louis Billups right in the chest, and he dropped it.
That is true.
And then 2 plays later, he in the end zone.
Okay.
The countdown to kickoff is on. Guys, you're getting me all ready for football season. I can't wait.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.